Obviously, you know, the Faceless has been through various different members. So what kind of made you realize, like, this is the right lineup for the band?
There's so many factors to being in a band with people. You know, I mean, there's musical chemistry, there's personal chemistry. Like, I mean, when you think about the type of music we're playing, it's pretty demanding. So there's a pretty small pool of musicians that you're pulling from. And then within that small pool of musicians you're pulling from, you also have to like those people. You know, you have to be able to live with them. Mm-hmm. So it can be tricky, and it can take time to find the right people, you know.
I've heard kind of various different interpretations of In Becoming a Ghost, and some people believe that it was kind of like a road to recovery sort of thing. But what does it mean for you?
I obviously was in a pretty dark place when I was writing lyrics. And yeah, I am a recovering drug addict, and a lot of it's about drugs, you know. And I had a few rough years, you know. So yeah, and it was a very cathartic process. I think, you know, I needed to get it out. I think I needed to verbalize what was going on in my head and what, like, all the mess in my head, and like actually verbalizing it and like made it like real to me. And I realized, okay, I can lock this away here and move forward, you know. So yeah,
it takes a lot of balls to, you know, admit that it was about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually the first time I've told anybody that, but I feel like it's fairly transparent, so people are gonna know either way. Because it's not just about drugs. I mean, it's about depression. It's about feeling like you're going insane. You know, it's about a lot of things. Which, well, I was dealing with all of those things simultaneously. So.
Well, I think it's a big issue at the moment, especially, like, you know, blokes who actually don't talk about that sort of stuff enough. What, if you had any sort of advice, what would you kind of give to people?
Trying to stay positive, trying to stay focused on, you know, the good things rather than harping on the negative things in life has been beneficial to me.
What's in the future for you then, as a person?
Well, I guess we'll have to see. Yeah, really. I think I probably have at least another Faceless album in me. Maybe 2, maybe 3. I have another project I've been working on, which I haven't talked about just because it hasn't been ready. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to decide if I want to release it as an EP. I have 5 songs ready right now, or if I want to just continue writing more songs and make it a full-length album. But it's just like a solo project I'm doing, and it's called Slaves and Masters.
Okay. The impact of social media has kind of been an obvious big sort of thing. Yeah. What's that sort of done to, like, you and the band and everything?
Oh man, yeah, I think it can be very detrimental to focus on that stuff. Honestly, like, I know people that will drive themselves crazy sitting there reading comments about themselves of people that don't even know them, making stuff up about them, and they're just torn up inside reading this stuff. They're just making shit up. They don't know them, you know. They're like, oh, this person, I met them at a show and they were an asshole to me, and you're like, no way, that person's totally nice.
Obviously, you know, you've had so many different members and the Faceless sound has kind of changed. What would you say is the quintessential Faceless sound for you?
Quintessential sound has changed itself a bit. I have a certain tonality that I kind of always tend to move towards. I don't know, like, even when I'm not doing Faceless stuff, like in my other projects, when people listen to them, they tend to tell me, and they can tell it's me, it sounds like me. I guess I take that as a good thing. Maybe it's a bad thing. I take it as a good thing. I like to have a certain kind of sound, I guess, you know? Like when I was writing Planetary Duality, for instance, I think that, like, I wanted to make the craziest metal album I possibly could, you know? And, like, then with, like, Autotheism and Becoming a Ghost, I was moving more towards, I wanted to make a really interesting album. Something that metal fans maybe have never heard, you know? Because, I mean, I'm largely influenced by music that isn't metal. You know, I mean, like the new record has a Depeche Mode cover on it. Yeah, so.
If you had sort of one thing that you would say, you know, was the biggest impact that In Becoming a Ghost has had on you, what would you say that is?
I took a long time making the album because I wasn't in a place to really be like, I don't know, I just mentally was just, I wasn't there. And if I'm not in the right place, I don't want to create music because I worry that it might not be good. I don't know, you know. So I feel like I have to be in the right zone, I guess. But I feel like the whole process, I grew from it in a big way. Like I said, I mean, I think being lyrically so honest, something I've never done before in the Faceless. Like, you know, I mean, Autotheism was lyrically honest in the sense of like my views on like religion and stuff, but I mean, I don't really think that that's quite as personal as the topics on the new record are. And opening up like that is, you know, I mean, it's a little scary, honestly, but I felt like I needed to do it. So I guess catharsis would be the one
word to take away from things. Well, thank you ever so much. You've been an absolute gentleman.